In the Classic Series, we are up to the Boston Bruins, the New Jersey Devils meeting in 1988. 1988 was the year that the New Jersey Devils finally stopped being a doormat in the NHL. And this was something that happened in Kansas City, and it happened with Colorado, and it was happening with New Jersey as well. And this was a really important year. New Jersey finished 38, 36, and 6, so above 500. They had 295 goals scored, which was 10th, 296 goals allowed, which was 11th in the National Hockey League, so right around the middle. And they beat the Islanders in the first round in 6, and then they beat the Capitals in the second round in 7. So they won 2 rounds they weren't supposed to, and Sean Burke became a hero to that franchise at that point. And they went up against a Boston Bruins team that had finished 44, 30, and 6 in the regular season. 300 goals scored, which was 7th in the NHL. 251 against, which was 3rd. They beat Buffalo in 6. They then beat Montreal in 5 before they went on to New Jersey. And, of course, they would get swept in the Stanley Cup Finals in 1988. But on their way to getting there, they had to go through New Jersey, and New Jersey gave them quite the fight. This went a full 7. So game 1, first period. Wesley scores from Plett and Burge at 8 minutes and 48 seconds. And there's Willie Plett on the board again. He's there for Minnesota, there for Calgary, now he's there for Boston. And this is just a coincidence. But then I looked it up, like Willie Plett. And the interesting thing is, during the regular season, Plett's offense didn't exist. But in the postseason, it did. So big games, he comes up big. Second period, Steve Kasper scores from Burge and Plett at 2 minutes and 38 seconds. We then get a power play goal. It's Craig Jenney from Cam Neely at 9 minutes and 40 seconds, and it's 3-0. But New Jersey fights back. That's what they did. Curvers scores from Verbeek and Aaron Broughton at 11:26, and then Jack O'Callahan scores from Broughton and Curvers at 13:45. So it's 3-2 entering the third period. Early in the third, power play goal. It's Tom Curvers from Broughton and O'Callahan at 2:48. So O'Callahan with multiple points. He was on the Chicago series I did a few days ago. And then after they tie it, Boston gets the lead again. First, it's Ray Bourque from Linsman and Crowder at 5:56. And then Linsman scores from Bob Sweeney and Keith Crowder at 16:05. And so the Boston Bruins get a 5-3 win over the New Jersey Devils in Game 1. Bob Sauvé started Game 1. He saved 25 out of 30 in the loss. Reggie Lemelin saved 25 out of 28 in the victory. So we go to Game 2. This is still in Boston, and New Jersey fights back. First off, though, it's a power play goal by Keith Crowder from Linsman and Wesley at 4:38. 7 minutes later, to the exact second, at 11:38, it's a power play marker for New Jersey. It's Pat Verbeek from Driver and Curvers at 11:38. Then, on the power play, Broughton scores from Muller and Verbeek to make it 2-1 New Jersey after 1. Second period, no scoring. Third period, power play goal by Bob Joyce from Neely and Janney at 16:36. Bob Joyce had a big playoffs as well. So that ties it up, forces overtime. In overtime, it is Doug Brown who gets the game winner for the New Jersey Devils from Sorella and Velishek at 17:46. Not expecting assists from Sorella and Velishek, but there they are. And so Burke saves 39 out of 41 for the victory. Lemelin saves 30 out of 33 in the loss. And so Boston goes back to New Jersey, tied at 1 game apiece. And in Game 3, Boston really kind of asserts themselves. Not in the first, though. First period, there's no scoring. Second period, power play goal, Linsman from Bourque at 1:05. Less than a minute later, it's a power play goal. It's Joyce from Kluzak and Bourque at 2:03. Lyndon Byers then scores from Kasper and Bourque at 2:18. And then it's Gord Kluzak that makes it 4-0 from Kasper and Linsman at 10:52. Power play marker then by New Jersey. Shanahan scores from Danico and Sundstrom at 14:58. But before the second period's out, Ken Linsman adds another one. He scores from Crowder at 17:05. 5-1 entering the third. And in the third, it's Tom McCarthy with a goal. He's a former North Star as well. He scores from Linsman and Lemelin at 13:05. And there you go. Reggie Lemelin saves 23 out of 24 in the victory. In the loss, Burke saved 8 out of 11. Gets replaced early in the second period by Sauvé, who saved 17 out of 20. Game 4, at home, New Jersey, they do it again. New Jersey fights back. It's what they did. First period, it's Maley scoring from Loisel and Sullivan at 10:47, and then Verbeek scores unassisted at 11:34. 2-0 after 1. Second period, power play goal by Cam Neely from Janney and Joyce at 12 minutes and 31 seconds. Third period, and early on, it's Curvers who gets another one. He scores from Shanahan and McLean at 4:04, and the New Jersey Devils hold on. They win it 3-1. to tie up the series to force a Game 5. So when Boston wins, they tend to kind of win big, and that would continue throughout the series, but New Jersey stays in it. Lemela saves 15 out of 18 in the loss. Burke saves 33 out of 34 as he steals one. And between Game 2 and Game 4, Burke's the story, but of course in Game 3, Burke gets replaced. So we go to Game 5. Burke will not get replaced in this game and might kind of wish he was. First period, Michael Thelvin scores from Janney and Wesley at 12-12. And then power play goal is Janney from Wesley and Bourque at 17-24. Less than a minute later, Brendan Shanahan makes it 2-1. He scores for the Devils from Curvers and Broughton at 18:05. Second period, Boston, they kind of sort of pile on. Crowder from Linsman and Sweeney at 6:15. Joyce scores from Janney and Neely at 8:41. I just picture that, they're at the bench, and Bob Sauvé gets the tap, hey, you want to go in? And he's like, I'm good. It's fine, I'm good. Third period, Joyce gets another one. He scores from Janney and Bourque at 3:28. And then it's a power play goal by Kenny Linsman from Wesley at 9:05. And then 24 seconds later, Bob Sweeney scores unassisted. So 9 minutes and 29 seconds of the third period. It's 7-1 Boston. Burke in there for all 7 goals. Sean Burke, 24 saves on 31 shots. Lemela, 24 saves on 25 shots, as Reggie Lemelin shows. He's a pretty good goaltender in the playoffs. And they're getting ready to go to the next round. But New Jersey has something to say about that. So coming back at home, I think that says a lot about the heart that the New Jersey Devils had. So first period is Willie Plett scores at 1 minute and 57 seconds. There he is again. And then it's Johnson. Mark Johnson scores from Sorella at 15:40. And then Mark Johnson scores again from Sundstrom and Willanen at 18:15. So it's 2-1 for New Jersey after one. Second period. Bob Sweeney ties it on the power play from McCarthy at 7:24. New Jersey gets the lead again. It's Brown from Brickley and Willanen at 11:03. That is Andy Brickley. You're right. And then Thelvin scores from Burge and Wesley at 14:17. But McLean scores for New Jersey from Sundstrom and Sorella at 17 minutes and 12 seconds to make sure that New Jersey's entering the third with a 4-3 lead. Again, every time Boston answers, New Jersey shows their full value to keep this thing tied and keep it going and keep the lead in this case. Third period, Conacher scores from Maley and Loisel at 2 minutes and 45 seconds, and then we get a power play marker from New Jersey to end it. Sundstrom from Johnson and Curvers at 17 minutes and 30 seconds. Reggie Lemelin saves 8 out of 13, and then Andy Moog goes in and saves 14 out of 15. Burke would save 26 out of 29 for New Jersey, and of course, I, being a large Andy Moog fan, was saying, hey, going into Game 7, why don't we just play Moog? But they didn't do that. The Boston Bruins in 88 said, nope, we're going to go with Reggie Lemelin. So, Game 7 in Boston, and remember they had won 7-1 here, they went 6-1 here, 5-3 there. Really, in general, the only lopsided score you get for New Jersey is right here in Game 6. Game 7, well, before the halfway mark of the first period, Janney scores on the power play from Bourque and Kluzak at 8:59, and then at 11:59, exactly 3 minutes later, it's Mo LeMay from Thelvin and Wesley. So Mo played 3 games in the series and got a goal. Congratulations, Mo, on that. And I think he had 3 goals in that playoff run for Boston. So second period, Rick Middleton scores from Bourque at 2:57. It's 3-0 for Boston. It looks like they're going to the Stanley Cup. However, New Jersey fights back again. First, it's John McLean from Sullivan at 15:28, and then in the third period, Muller scores from Broughton and McLean at 3:41. So it's 3-2. And so New Jersey's keeping it close, but Craig Janney scores at 12:05 to widen the lead. Neely then scores from Casper and Burridge at 13:19. And then with New Jersey getting a power play, down 5-2, they figure, well, why not? We'll pull the goalie. And that ends up being something that leads to a shorthanded goal for Boston. Into the empty net, it's Linsman from Middleton at 19:36. So your final score is 6-2. Probably should have been 5-2, but you understand pulling the goalie. It's your last game. So the New Jersey Devils fall short. They get outscored 30-19 in this series. It's a very physical series. These teams did have a number of fights. There were some fisticuffs taking place during this series, but that's sort of the way it worked in the 80s. And your scoring leaders, Ken Linsman, 5 goals, 5 assists, 10 points to lead the way for the Boston Bruins. Craig Janney, 4 goals and 5 assists. Bourque, 1 goal and 7 assists. Glenn Wesley, a goal and 6 assists. And Bob Joyce, 4 goals and 1 assist. I remember coming out of this playoffs and seeing Bob Joyce play those games going to the playoffs. I think he had 12 points in 17 games and thinking, this Joyce kid's going to be pretty good. And his career didn't last that long. He actually had a pretty good year after that as well. And then it just didn't go anywhere after that. Now, Lemelin saved enough shots to get them to the next round, but his overall numbers, he was 4-3 with an .888 save percentage. Moog appeared once, had a .933 save percentage in that appearance. On the New Jersey side, Curvers, 3 goals and 4 assists to lead the way for New Jersey. There's a surprise. Aaron Broughton, a goal and 5 assists. McLean, 2 goals, 2 assists. Verbeek, 2 goals and 2 assists. And Sundstrom with a goal and 3 helpers. Interestingly enough, Shanahan, not in the top 5 scorers for the New Jersey Devils in the series. Burke was 3-3 with an .881 save percentage. Sauvé was 0-1 with an .840 save percentage. So in the end, Burke had his struggles against the Bruins, though in games 2 and 4, he looked pretty darn good. And it's that's the way that the 80s playoff series would usually end up. Your goaltenders end up with save percentages don't necessarily look that great, and yet they do have individual pretty darn solid games. 33 saves on 34 shots here, 39 saves on 41 shots there. And Burke, his legendary status in New Jersey didn't really last that long. I'm at some point going to need to do a video on Sean Burke's career because it's fascinating. It is an absolutely fascinating career, but that's for another time. There's your 1988 series. Boston would go into the finals, like I said, and then Edmonton swept them aside. But before they got there, they took out the New Jersey Devils, who were kind of the feel-good story of the 1988 Stanley Cup playoffs. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.